Hello, dear children. Today, let us do the sixth chapter of your history. The name of the chapter is Towns, Traders, and Craftspersons. Children, this chapter focuses on the concept of towns, traders, and craftspersons. So, here is the chapter. What would a traveler visiting a medieval town expect to find? So, it asks, what would a traveler visiting a medieval town means city regarded as dull or unsophisticated, expect to find out there? This would depend on what kind of a town it was: a temple town, an administrative center, a commercial town, or a port town, to name just some possibilities. So this would depend on what kind of town it was, whether it was a temple town, an administrative center, a commercial town, or a port town, to name just some possibilities. In fact, many towns combined several functions. They were administrative centers, temple towns, as well as centers of commercial activities and craft production. In reality, boys, many towns combined with several functions. They were administrative centers, temple towns, as well as centers of commercial activities and craft production. Here, see to the right margin of this book, some important centers of trade and artisanal production in Central and South India. It is indicated in this map. You just get through this one. Now let us see the administrative centers. You read about the Chola dynasty in chapter 2. Let's travel in our imagination to Thanjavur, the capital of Cholas, as it was 1,000 years ago. Boys, you've already studied about the Chola dynasty in your chapter number 2 of this book. Now let's travel in our imagination to Thanjavur. Thanjavur, it is the capital of Cholas, as it was 1,000 years ago. The perennial river Kaveri flows near this beautiful town. So, perennial river. Perennial means, boys, those rivers which supply water throughout the year. So, this perennial river Kaveri is such a river, flows near this beautiful town. One hears the bells of Raja Rajeshwara temple built by King Rajaraja Chola. So, there, that means from that river Kaveri, near that beautiful town, one can hear the bells of Rajarajeshwara temple, which was built by King Rajaraja Chola. The townspeople are all prized for its architect, Kunjar Mallan, Rajaraja Peruntha Chachan, who has proudly carved his name on the temple wall. So the townspeople, they are all appreciated for the architect here who has built that. Okay, and the name of the person is Kunjara Mallan Rajaraja Peruntha Chachan, who has proudly carved in a very nice way. Okay, in very expert way, he carved his name on the temple wall. Inside is a massive Shiva Linga. So inside of that temple there is a massive, means large or heavy Shiva Linga. Okay, Linga, that means Linga of Shiva is there. Linga means it symbolizes God Shiva. Besides the temple, there are palaces with mandapas or pavilions. So, apart from this temple, there are palaces. Palaces means where a king used to live, with mandapas or pavilions. Pavilions means it is a building. We used to say it is a building at a cricket ground or other sports ground used for changing dresses, taking refreshment by the players like that. Okay, so that type of place is there. So kings hold court in these mandapas, issuing orders to their subordinates. There are also barracks for the army. So kings used to held court in these mandapas, in the temples, issuing orders to their subordinates. He used to issue order to their subordinates. Subordinates, a person under the authority or control of another. Okay, within an organization. Okay. There are also barracks. Barracks means a large building used to house soldiers. Okay. Barracks for the army. The town is bustling with markets selling grain, spices, cloth, and jewelry. Here, the town, it is full of activity with markets in order to sell grain, spices, cloth, and jewelry. Water supply for the town comes from wells and tanks. The Shalia weavers of Thanjavur and the nearby town of Urayur are busy producing cloth for flags to be used in the temple festival, fine cottons for the king and nobility, and coarse cotton for the masses. So, the Salaya weavers is weaving clothes here of Thanjavur and the nearby town of Urayur. They are quite busy in order to produce cloth for flags in order to use in the temple festivals, fine cotton for the king and nobility, and coarse cotton. Coarse cotton means rough cotton for the masses, for the general people. Some distance away at Spamillai, the Stapatis or sculptors are making exquisite bronze idols and tall ornamental bell metal lamps at a bit distance, okay, away at Spamimalai, the Stapatis, okay. Yeah, Stapatis means the Indian who designed the Indian temples and were members of the Builders Guild. Or sculptures. Sculptures means artists of sculpt are making exquisite bronze idols. Exquisite means quality of being noble in character. Bronze idols and tall ornamental bell metal lamps. So they used to make these bronze statue idols and tall ornamental means decorative bell metal lamps. Temple towns and pilgrimage centers. Thanjavur is also an example of a temple town. Thanjavur is also an example of a temple town. Temple towns represent a very important pattern of urbanization, urban city areas. So temple town, it indicates a very important pattern of urbanization, the process by which cities develop. Okay, it is the process by which city develop. Temples were often central to the economy and society. Temples, they were often always central to the economy and society. Rulers built temples to demonstrate their devotion to various deities. Rulers, those persons who was ruling there, they used to build temples in order to demonstrate, show their devotion. Devotion here, okay, how they devoted to various deities, various god and goddesses. They also endowed temples with grants of land and money to carry out elaborate rituals, feed pilgrims and priests, and celebrate festivals. They also endowed temples which are with grants of land and money in order to carry out elaborate rituals. Elaborate means detailed and complicated rituals, religious work, feed pilgrims and priests, and celebrate festivals. So pilgrims means those who come as a or go as a travelers for the religious purposes. Priests and celebrate festivals. Pilgrims who flocked to the temples also made donations. Pilgrims who ever visited there, so they used to donate in the temple, to the temples. Okay. So here you can see a beautiful picture, bronze, bell metal, and the lost wax technique. It shows here. You get through this paragraph. Okay. This whatever that means, it is written here. Temple authorities use their wealth to finance trade and banking. Temple authority, those who are in the charge of that temple, they used their property in order to finance trade and banking. Gradually, a large number of priests, workers, artisans, traders, etc., settled near the temple to cater to its needs and those of the pilgrims. So, in this way, a large number of priests, workers, artisans means a worker in a skilled trade, okay, then traders, etc., they settle, they live near the temple, okay, to cater to its needs, in order to provide its needs and those of the pilgrims. Thus grew temple towns. In this way, temple towns grew, okay. Towns emerged around temples such as those of Bilaswamin, Bilas or Vidisha in Madhya Pradesh, and Somnath in Gujarat. So towns, it comes out, it emerged. Okay, it moved out of around temples such as those of Bilaswamin, Bilasa or Vidisha in Madhya Pradesh, and Somnath in Gujarat. These are the temple of these different states or areas. Other important temple towns included Kanchipuram and Madurai in Tamil Nadu and Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh. So other important temple towns, these are included Kanchipuram and Madurai in Tamil Nadu state and Tirupati in Andhra Pradesh. Pilgrimage centers also slowly developed into township. Vrindavan in Uttar Pradesh and Thiruvannamalai in Tamil Nadu are examples of two such towns. So pilgrimage centers, those who are visited there for religious purposes like saints, sadhus. Okay, so pilgrimage centers also slowly developed into township, such as Vrindavan of Uttar Pradesh and Thiruvannamalai of Tamil Nadu. These are examples of two such towns. Ajmer, it is in Rajasthan, was the capital of the Chauhan kings in the 12th century and later became the Shuba headquarters under the Mughals. Ajmer of Rajasthan boys, it was the capital of the Chauhan kings in the 12th century and afterward it became the Shuba headquarters under the Mughals, okay. It provides an excellent example of religious coexistence. So this one, it provides an excellent, good example of religious coexistence. Religious coexistence means existing at the same format at the same place. Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti and the celebrated Sufi saint, see also it has given in chapter number 8, who settled there in the 12th century, attracted devotees from all creeds. So Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti, he was the celebrated Sufi saint. Sufi saint means who believes in the kind of Islam known as Sufism, okay. So it is again given there in chapter number 8 also. He settled there, okay. This Khwaja Muinuddin settled there in the 12th century and attracted devotees from all creeds, okay. It was attracted, strong, that means believers in a particular religion of or God. They were attracted, okay, and they were from different creeds, from different religious belief, okay. Near Ajmer is a lake, Pushkar, which has attracted pilgrims from ancient times. So near that Ajmer boys, there is a lake, and the name of that lake is Pushkar Lake. It has attracted pilgrims from ancient times, from older days, okay, olden days. A network of small towns. From the 8th century onwards, the subcontinent was dotted with several small towns. So, from the 18th century onwards, from there, the subcontinent, it was dotted, it was marked with a dot boys, with several small towns. These probably emerged from large villages. So, probably it moved out of and become visible from large villages. They usually had a mandapika or mandi or later times to which nearby villagers brought their produce to sell. So they usually had a mandapika or mandi of later times. Mandi means market, okay. Market in a small town in which nearby villagers bring their products to sell there, okay. So to his nearby villagers brought their produce in order to sell. They also had market streets called hatta, hut of later times. So hatta or hut, the meaning of hatta or hut is market was. So lined with shops. So they also had market streets there, which is known as hatta, okay, lined with land shops here. Besides, there were streets for different kinds of artisans such as potters, oil pressers, sugar makers, toddy makers, smith, stonemasons, etc. Apart from that, there were streets for different kinds of artisans, different kinds of workers such as potters, oil pressers, sugar makers, toddy makers. Toddy makers means usually hot drink, okay. Toddy means usually hot drink maker, smith, okay, goldsmith, ironsmith, like that. Then stonemason, etc. Stonemason means a person who cuts and prepares building with stone. While some traders lived in the town, others traveled from town to town. See, some traders, business person, they lived in the town, others they used to move from one town to another. Many came from far and near to these towns to buy local articles and sell products of distant places like horses, salt, camphor, saffron, betel nut, and spices like pepper. So many used to visit here, came from far and near to this very town in order to purchase local things, okay, local articles, and sell products which they brought from distant places. These products are such as horses, salt, camphor, saffron, then betel nut, and spices like pepper, etc. Usually, a Samanta or in later times a Jamindar built a fortified palace in or near these towns. So usually a Samanta or in later times a Jamindar. Samanta means here a vassal to an emperor, okay. Or in later times a Jamindar built a fortified, okay, fortified palace in or near these towns. Fortified means a palace, a place provided with defensive works as protection against attack, okay. So that type of palace was there and nearby, okay, towns. These levied taxes on traders, artisans, and articles of trade, and sometimes donated the right to collect these taxes to local temples which had been built by themselves or by rich merchants. So they levied here, they impose taxes on traders, whoever they visited there for trading. So they imposed taxes on them, artisans and articles of trade, and sometimes donated the right to collect these taxes to local temples which had been built by themselves or by rich merchants. These rights were recorded in inscriptions that have survived to this day. So these rights were recorded, okay, in inscription. Inscriptions means a thing inscribed as on a monument or in a book, that is called inscriptions, that have survived. It continue to exist to this day also. Then taxes on markets, you just get through this one. Now traders, big and small. There were many kinds of traders, different kinds of traders were there. Okay. These included the Banjaras. Banjaras means the nomad boys. She also in chapter 7 has given. Several traders, especially horse traders, formed association with headmen who negotiated on their behalf with warriors who bought horses. So several business persons, traders, especially with trading horse, they formed associations with their headmen who negotiated on their behalf with warriors who bought horses. So with headmen of negotiated means obtained by discussion on their behalf on their favor with warriors. Warriors means a brave or experienced soldier or fighter who bought horses. Since traders had to pass through many kingdoms and forests, they usually traveled in caravans and formed guilds to protect their interests. As traders, they had to pass through many kingdoms and forests. They always traveled in caravans. Caravans means was a vehicle equipped for living in, typically towed by a car, and formed guilds to protect their interests. There were several such guilds. Guilds means boys. Let us finish this sentence. There were several such guilds in South India from the 8th century onwards, the most famous being the Manigramam and Nanadeshi. Here there were several such guilds. Guilds means a medieval associations of craftsmen or merchants, often having considerable power in South India from the 8th century onwards. The most famous being the Manigramam and Nanadeshi. Nanadeshi means traders from other kingdom, okay. These guilds traded extensively both within the peninsula and with Southeast Asia and China. So you see, these guilds traded extensively, boys. They covered large area both within the peninsula, within an area of land which is almost surrounded of water, that is our southern India, and with Southeast Asia and China. There were also communities like the Chettiars and the Marwari Oswal who went on to become the principal trading groups of the country. Whilst there were also communities, group of people like the Chettiars and the Marwari Oswal who went on to become the principal trading groups of the country. Chettiars means they were from South India, okay. Gujarati traders, including the communities of Hindu Baniyas and Muslim Boras, traded extensively with the ports of the Red Sea, Persian Gulf, East Africa, Southeast Asia and China. So, Gujarati traders, okay, Gujarati traders in which it included the communities of Hindu, Banyas, and Muslim Bohras. They traded extensively with the ports of Red Sea, Persian Gulf, East Africa, Southeast Asia, and China. They sold textiles and spices in these ports and in exchange brought gold and ivory from Africa and spices, tin, Chinese, blue pottery, and silver from Southeast Asia and China. See, they used to sell textiles products and spices in these ports, and in exchange, so after selling it, they brought gold and ivory from Africa and spices, tin, Chinese blue pottery, and silver from Southeast Asia and China. The towns on the west coast were home to Arab, Persian, Chinese, Jewish, and Syrian Christian traders. The towns on the west coast were home to Arab. Arab used to live there. Persian, Chinese, Jewish, and Syrian Christian traders also lived there. Indian spices and clothes sold in the Red Sea ports were purchased by Italian traders and eventually reached European markets, facing very high profits. So, Indian spices, boys, and cloth sold in the Red Sea ports were purchased by the traders from Italy and eventually reached European markets. Okay, and then they carried in the European markets where they used to earn very high profits. Spices grown in tropical climates, pepper, cinnamon, nutmeg, dried ginger, etc. These are the varieties of spices which were grown in tropical climates, became an important part of European cooking, and cotton cloth was very attractive. So this is spices, and then cotton cloth demand, okay, it rises. This eventually drew European traders to India. So this in the end was it drew European traders to our India. We will shortly read about how this changed the face of trading and towns. Very shortly we are going to study about how this changed the face of trading and towns. Okay, how that means the system of trading and towns faces changed by these European traders. Okay, or this different trading system here. Okay, here again, boys, this Kabul it has mentioned. You get through this. The craftspersons of Bidar were so famed for their inlay work in copper and silver that it came to be called Bidri. So the craftsperson, ornamental, okay, and object by embroidering pieces of different material in it. Okay, that's craftsperson. Inlay means inlay. Okay, so the craftspersons of Bidar, Bidar it is a land, boys. We are so famed. Famed means renowned for their whatever I said just now. This ornament and object by embroidering pieces of different material in it. Okay, so work in copper and silver that it came to be called Bidri. This is known as Bidri. Bidri means it is an alloy of copper, lead, tin, and zinc. The Panchalas or Vishwakarma community consisting of goldsmiths, bronzesmiths, blacksmiths, masons, and carpenters were essential to the building of temples. So the Panchalas means an ancient kingdom of northern India, boys, or Vishwakarma. They were the community, okay, different community consisting of goldsmiths. They used to do the work of gold, then bronze smith, blacksmiths, masons, and carpenters. They were essential to the building of temples. They also played an important role in the construction of palaces, big buildings, tanks, and reservoirs. So they also played very important role in the construction of palaces. Palaces means building of a ruler, okay. Big buildings, tanks, and reservoir. Reservoir means a large natural or artificial lake used as a source of water supply. Similarly, weavers such as Saliar or Kaikolars emerged as prosperous communities. So, in the same way, boys, weavers such as Saliar. Saliar is an Indian caste from Kerala, okay, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, and Karnataka, or Kaikolars emerged as prosperous communities making donations to temples. Some aspects means a particular part of feature of something. Some aspects of cloth making like cotton cleaning, spinning, and dyeing became specialized and independent crafts. So some aspects here of cloth making, such as cotton cleaning, spinning, and dyeing, it became specialized and independent crafts. So let's up to here for today, all of you. Thank you.